Hi, everybody. I got my hardware. We're ready to go. How many of you drink water? How many of you drink stuff that's made from water, like beer? How many of you cook rice? Where does the water go? Well, what happens if there's something wrong with the water and you don't know that? Thank you. And you don't know that. You don't know what to do, right? You don't even know if there's something wrong with water. And this is something that I've been really focused on for many years of my career, 27 years as an environmental engineer. How do we know if the water is good? What do we do about it? So me and my colleagues got together and we put together a technology that will let you, anybody in this room, inexpensively measure metals in your water in real time and have an answer in a minute. And then Flint, Michigan happened. We were halfway through our invention and our design. Flint, Michigan. How many people have heard about Flint, Michigan? Lead in the water, well above standards, and nobody knew about it. Nobody could do anything about it. They saw cloudy water. They complained about it. The utility said everything's fine, but nobody could document it until it was too late. And the trouble with metals is you don't know you're getting sick until it's too late to do anything about it. So we focus on metals. And this is what's been missing in the market. One example of how this has been missing is your water utility is required to analyze 100 taps a year to determine if the pipes are leaching out metals. Lead, that is. So LA has 1.5 million connections. Only 100 get sampled. Do they know? They don't. Do you want to know? Do you want to know if your water's safe? Yes. Well, now you can measure it yourself. We put together a small, compact device, porting technology from the biomedical space called microfluidics. Very, very small channels, samples microliters of water. We've developed a design paradigm so you don't have to be a chemist. We separate the customer from the chemistry. We automate on the system with the CPU, automated valves and controls. We mix the sample with the right reagents so it can be analyzed and it can give you an answer of how much total lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury is in that water. We make an Internet of Things connected, so we don't have to have a screen on the device. We don't have to have very expensive components on the device. So we transmit the data to our cloud servers where our proprietary software, utilizing machine learning technology, can correlate what's happening on the device with the metals concentrations and give you an answer on your cell phone. You can share that data. You can store that data. You can have a record of evidence that allows you to get your utility to fix itself, or allows you to select a different water supply, or allows you to go down to your neighbor to get a jug of water from them because theirs happened to be better that day. We've designed the form factor to be the size of a cell phone, largely because I need it that big to have a battery that's going to last a while. It can be smaller. But the idea is our customer groups, we have 3 of them, but a big one is consumers. You, me, everybody. Everybody who cares enough about the health of their family to want to protect them. And so as a consumer device, separating the customer from the chemistry, designing around not having to touch any liquid. You dip it in the water, you press a button, you open up the app on your cell phone, you hit the app, you get an answer. That answer isn't good, you press a button, it emails your utility and the mayor. Or in the case of a bottled water company, the CEO, because that data is in the database. So how many people would like to have a device like that? How many people would find that that can improve their life, help them take care of their family? We're thinking of our customers, the consumer side, as moms, millennials, although I hate that term these days because it's way overused. But young people who want cool gizmos, who really want to take care of themselves and only put good things in their bodies. So that's what we put together. We're pricing this in a leased model. So you pay a monthly fee, and we replace it whenever it breaks. We send reagents whenever they run out. So that's the device we're putting together. And thank you for your time.
So, keep that on you.
Okay.
We're now going to have our experts ask Richard questions about his product and give him some feedback. So you can hold on to this mic, because we'll need both, and we'll share our mics over here.
So where are you at in actually developing and engineering the product?
I have a very crude prototype in my garage. I filed a patent 3 weeks ago. I have a design complete, and I need to raise money to build this 2-scale microfluidics sized prototype and finish the training of my neural network against the data.
How big is the prototype in your garage?
Oh, well, it's kind of in pieces and parts with Arduino and et cetera, and so it's kind of spread out over about maybe this big.
So you asked how many people were interested, and I was surprised that not everybody said yes, because we want to drink healthy, we want to know that what we're putting in our bodies, you know, there've been articles about these BP containers and the numbers and all that, but that's nice, but so what? So I took a drink of water and I tested, and I find out that it's not at the level I want it to be. What do? All the other water in my house is like that. Or what's the likelihood that even if I go to a utility, that they will do anything about it within 300 years or something? So, you know, I understand why it seems to make sense, but how is it going to be implemented so that I can be assured that starting tomorrow, now that I have this, I'm drinking water that is safe? All the samples I've tried don't come up at the level that they should.
So that's great. I mean, when I've interviewed people, potential customers, and showed them this and talked to them about, would you use it? Is this something that you would find valuable? What would you pay for it? I get that response from about 10%, roughly. 1 out of 10 say, you know, I can't do anything about it. Why would I bother? And frankly, I won't sell to them. But there's the rest who will do something. And some, maybe another 10% are really, I put them in sort of this psychological customer paradigm of like the activist. They're going to be raising bloody blue, you know what, with their utility because they have this data. Then there's the sort of all the in-between who are going to have a range of things. Well, gosh, I better go buy bottled water. I better not drink that. I better not cook my rice in that. They're going to do something. And then, I didn't really bring this up in terms of the product, but the whole full stack website of this brings into connecting them with water treatment vendors, with bottled water vendors, with other types of suppliers who can come in and help them solve the problem, plumbers who can replace pipes, and the other element of this of will my utility ever do anything about this? The data. I've been serving utilities for 27 years. Once there's a set of data, they do act. They do take action. Now, is that action fast, effective is a question, but they're going to do something. And my hope is they'll buy my device.
Richard, walk me through the consumer journey. So in today's paradigm, without your product in the market, when does somebody first think about doing something or learning about their water? And then when they think about that, what is the first thing they go do? What are the substitute products they look for? What's out there today? So walk me through that journey for a consumer today.
So based on the interviews I've done and the talks I've done with people and working with a number of people, the first thing they do is they sense an odor. They sense a taste that is unsatisfactory to them. So the first thing they usually do is go buy bottled water. That's the first thing. Then they get, to some.
So they skip right to bottled water.
They skip right to buying a case of bottled water at Costco or something fancier someplace else. But they go buy some alternative water supply. Then they get to the point where they say, I'm tired of smelling that. I'm tired of having that come out my tap. They may, it depends on their psychological profile. Some will go complain to the utility. Some will go buy a point of use water treatment system. Some will call a plumber. Some will find some kind of external support or assistance or product to try to improve the quality of water coming out. But very rarely do they go to their doctor. Very rarely do they tie this to, oh my God, am I getting sick? Should I go have myself tested?
So in that story, the substitute products end up being either bottled water or a water treatment system. What about, hey, let me test this?
So that's coming up now. Since Flint, Michigan, a number of people have been saying, oh my God, I better test my water. So right now the products on the market, my competitors, are the colorimetric testers that you dip in the water, which are fine, but they don't tell you total metals, only dissolved. You have to mix it with acid yourself to dissolve and get under to know the total metals. Most no customers are doing that. So there's an education gap right now that does need to be part of the marketing plan.
So there's a smell. They may go straight to some sort of solution. They may think about testing and maybe go to Google and type in water test.
Yes.
And what shows up? What products show up in the market today?
There's a colorimetric lead test strip that's sold by, it's called WaterSafe. It's a brand sold by a company called Silver Lake Technologies out of Monrovia. That comes up. Then you get sort of the more chemist type of tests coming up that are sold by companies like Hosh and Sigma Aldrich, which are really, you kind of need to be a chemist to use them, and they're quite expensive. And then you'll get some EPA information telling you what's wrong with the water.
Right. So basically, the reason I asked that series of questions is just sort of understanding from an end consumer point of view, what is the journey? What are the things that people think about? And at what point do they end up even thinking about your product? Because out of that group of 100% of consumers, what percentage don't have a problem? There's a percentage that have a problem. And the ones that have a problem maybe go buy bottled water. Then some subset of them look for a product, and then what's the substitute product out there? So just thinking through that, understanding that, and the proportions of that help you identify, okay, who are you really going after, and what do they care about?
You're basically making a fear-based product.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so you have a huge challenge right there, okay? Because in the world that we live in, most of us are challenged how we spend our time, period. And we gravitate toward the things we like to do. Listen to music, eat, food, right? So how many Flints have there been? How many Flints have there been?
Three come to mind.
Okay.
Three
That is nowhere
of the
near-
scale of
Does
Flint.
not justify making a fear-based product. Now, people that die from carbon dioxide poisoning, that happens a lot, right? As a result, people should have a carbon dioxide sensor in their home. Most people don't. That has not even taken off to the point where it should be. So I think your major challenge is, and I think it's building on what you're indicating, this isn't in people's mindset. I mean, people in LA, we don't drink the water. It's very simple, right? And so, we're not worried about whether it smells or not because we're not drinking it. And so I just don't think this is in people's consciousness. It's not in their daily life, okay? And there has to be a milestone moment where they go, oh my God, we're 3 miles down from Flint and we better test our water. So I would encourage you very much to look at what the real market is and what your messaging is in order to see if you can get any kind of mass production or mass sales out of it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And when we look at the consumer side of our 3 market segments, we do view that as quite a bit smaller than the utility segment. And we view it as a means by which to develop the data set to drive the utility segment to seek to monitor.
Lose the millennial comment and the cool gizmo. That's a definite. Take that out of your pitch.
Absolutely, thanks.
So I have a question on how you came to the pricing and how that sits with your consumers.
So right now on a consumer level, we're looking at about a $10 a month type of lease/subscription. And we came to that pricing from 2 directions. One, of course, the cost side, but 2, looking at the consumer side and sort of querying them in terms of what their value proposition is to have a device that would tell them every day whether that water is safe today. If it's $10 a month is something that they would consider they could do. And we did get relatively positive feedback from a certain percent of consumers on that.